What's up, Ron here, and today we're gonna look at SAA's Indian Yellow. What's up, Ron here. Thank you for joining me in another video, another episode of The Paint Show. And today we're gonna look at, I'm gonna close the window, it's a bit noisy. We're gonna look at Indian Yellow by SAA. I really love this paint, I really love this brand. My experience with these was so far really excellent, except for the fact that the red spilled all through my palette because it took a long time to dry out. So I'm gonna talk about that hopefully in a future episode. But today I'm really excited because we're gonna have a real fun video with this one. I want to do some real demo. I want to focus on demoing this. Okay, so I'm going to do a mini tiny painting here in addition to the regular swatches and things like this, so that you can really see this in action mixed with different paints. Okay, so what we're going to do now is change the angle, take a look at the tube itself. So as I didn't show you a lot of these paints, I thought it would be a good idea to give you a better look at the tube. This one's pretty large, 14 millimeters, which I like. And let me read to you the description by SAA. So what they write about this paint is strong, vibrant yellow with a beautiful warm orange tint, ideal for floral background washes and vignettes, a burst of bright sunshine packed into a tube. So that's, I like that description. And next up, we're gonna look at some paint information. So I actually don't have a lot about this one, so we're just gonna go over what we do have. So the pigment is Pigment Yellow 83, that's Diarylide Yellow HR. I forgot again what the HR stands for, let me know what it is. It's not human resources, I'm sure. The light fastness is A, it is transparent. Now I did see two different descriptions. One says semi-transparent, another says transparent. We're gonna have to test it out. The SAA brand doesn't have series, so this one, it's just one big series of paints, so there's nothing like that. And I think the best thing to do is to just demo this. So let's take a closer look at the paint. So I want to show you the paint on the palette. What I love about this one is that it doesn't spill out too easily from the tube, so you can have some control over it. So this is what we've got. I'm just gonna wet some of the edges here, just to give you a closer look. So you see it really is similar to New Gamboge, all kinds of these very warm orangey yellows. So let's now show you this on paper. I'm gonna start with a really light and pale here and slowly make it darker and darker. This one seems like it could achieve a little bit more darkness than some of the maybe more lemony yellows. I find that the orange yellows can become darker, which makes sense. They have a bit more red in them, so yeah. So picking up more and more paint as I go along, and now I'm gonna just use a lot of the paint, not a lot of water. I think this is probably close to as dark as you can expect this one to become. Okay, now I'm gonna do a little bit of a wet and wet experiment here. And you can already see from the side the miniature painting I'm gonna work on in just a few moments. I thought it would be a better way of demoing than just, you know, the swatches. I always strive to do a real demo and not just show you as swatches, you know. So it still has, it's very strong tinting. You can see I couldn't get rid of it by cleaning the brush, so there is a bit of yellow in that watery mixture, but that's gonna be fine. We're gonna live with it. Letting it spread out a little, adding a bit stronger and stronger spots of yellow. And this is gonna dry pretty light because it's already, you know, wet and wet. So there's quite a lot of water there. The more water you have on paper, the lighter it's gonna dry. And the paper I'm using, this is the Canson Montval sketchbook. You probably, many of you recognize it by now. And the brush is a silver black velvet one. Most of these episodes are done on this sketchbook, and rarely, but sometimes I do use just a normal like arch paper or something like this. So next up I'm gonna do some dry brush. The video tends to get all blue when there's a lot of yellow in it and when there's natural light from the outside, so I hope to fix that in after just editing it. I do have the new Premiere Pro editing software, which is much better than the Filmora one I was using earlier on. So anyway, a bit of dry brush. And next up, I want to just do this really quick sketch. So in terms of colors I'll be using for this one is, so first the Indian yellow obviously, and I think I will combine a warm red like a Pyrrole Scarlet Daniel Smith, and then a cool blue, so this is gonna be the Winsor & Newton Phthalo blue. Okay, this is the components I'm going with, and it's really a mix of 3 brands as you can see. We'll see how the results are, so let's get started. So first layer, very quick, just an underpainting, letting everything mix together. We're gonna let it dry for a few moments, then I'm gonna come back with some extremely darker washes. Okay, so I think this is it. I don't want to overdo it. I think this one looks great. What I thought I'd do is keep it simple. You know, there's a bit of roughness here, but it's really small just compared to the size of my finger. It's a tiny sketch. So next up, what I want to do is just a few more mixes so that you can better see the individual paint. So I'm going to grab some of the yellow here. It's a bit contaminated, but that's good because we're going to actually mix it up with a bit of the phthalo Winsor blue, just so that you can see a bit of it more. You could see in the sketch the different values. You can get a very dark value with this one as long as there's enough blue and red in the mixture. Now I'm gonna grab some of the red here, let it mix together. I really love this this selection of colors. I think it works really well. I could try and add a bit of ultramarine just so that you can see what it looks like next to it and compare it. And it actually works. I think it have the potential of working nicely together as well, even though it's a bit different from the phthalo, from the Winsor blue. So in any case, this is kind of the combination I used for this one, except for this French Ultramarine. I really hope you enjoyed this quick one. Let's zoom out for a moment and see everything we did so far. So we've got the swatch, the wet and wet, dry brush, then this quick demo, and we've got these here. Now I'm not gonna do a full I'm not going to show the entire process of this. It's going to be a huge time lapse, probably, as you saw, because I will edit it in some way. So if you want me to do a separate video on this entire process, maybe even narrated, let me know and I may do that. Okay, so this is it. Let's wrap up this video. So this is it. I really hope you enjoyed this episode, and I think this yellow is going to be really useful down the line. I'm still contemplating which 7 or so paints I should build for a kind of minimal palette for painting outside. I'm still working that out, and also if you have a recommendation for an actual palette for painting outside, let me know in a comment below. I do have the generic kind of 24 Wells metal palette, but if you have a recommendation for another one, I'd be happy to learn more about it. I'm really excited about the paint show. I think we're creating something really cool here and just a huge knowledge base. So I hope you enjoyed this one. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button to receive updates for new episodes. I'm posting a lot of these and a lot of videos in general, so I want to make sure that you're in the loop. Also, don't forget to check out my podcast in the description below, my Patreon page, my beginner's drawing course. Everything is going to be down there, including timestamps for this video and for all of the videos. I put timestamps so you can jump to the part that interests you. So if you just want to see the demo, you look for the demo and the timestamps, click it, you get to the demo. So anyway, this is it for today. I hope you enjoyed this one, and I will see you again in another vid real soon.